We've all seen it. We've all gotten the latest. Here we go. This time around, it's about a Liverpool player, Diaz. Lucho, yes, we are going to miss Lucho a lot. But as things stands, we all know it that throughout this transfer window, a lot of news has been coming out about Lucho. He already made it obvious that he's interested in a move from Liverpool to any other club. Initially, we thought Barca is going to be that club, but a serious offer didn't come from Barcelona. So subsequently, he started being linked with Bayern Munich, and Bayern has been showing interest, although they did not also show a serious interest until the sad incident that happened in the Club World Cup involving Musiala. That's exactly why they had to start asking serious questions in order to strengthen their forward line. And of course, they already had Diaz as their target. Interestingly, Diaz was also very interested in that particular move. So for the last couple of days and even couple of weeks, it was almost certain that if Diaz is going to leave, he would surely be going to Bayern. Now, the only thing that was left is for Bayern and Liverpool to reach an agreement. We knew that Liverpool gave them a valuation of Diaz and they expected beyond 70M for that particular deal. Bayern Munich, on the other hand, we are trying to bring down the price, but finally everything is agreed. They reached an agreement of total package of 75M. And that is the exact figure we are getting from the Here We Go announcement that came from Fabrizio and a bunch of other reputable journalists in the footballing world. So that's it. Everything is basically official. And we also got information that Liverpool already gave Diaz a go-ahead to follow up on the medicals, do his medicals and complete the move. On the side of Diaz, the personal deal he reached with Bayern is a 4-year deal. So the next couple of years is going to be an interesting one for him as he moves into the German league. And as a Liverpool fan who have watched Diaz do his thing for the last couple of years for us, we are going to miss him. I'm very sure about that. We will miss him in a good way. We are going to miss all the memories he has created with the club. We are going to miss those goals he scored. I could still remember that special moment in a game between Liverpool and Manchester City, where he basically disgraced Rodri and Kyle Walker. Of course, we'll be missing a lot of those, but there is no cause for alarm. Liverpool is in a good place at the moment, and based on everything that is happening in the transfer window, especially with Liverpool, I'm very sure that money that is being raised from the sale of Diaz will be put to very good use. So this is exactly where the question comes. What does this mean for Liverpool? What does the departure of Diaz mean for us? What does the fact that we are getting a decent sum of money for him also means for us? Two things easily come to mind. The easiest one to think of is Alexander Isak. Of course, Isak is not even coming as a replacement for Diaz, but he's coming as our number one striking target for this particular window. And we've already gotten to a situation where we understand that Isak wants to move out. We also understand that he is only interested in coming to Liverpool. Now, it would have been very tricky considering that Liverpool just bought a striker a few days ago. But the good news is that Liverpool also came out to say that, yeah, we bought a striker, but that doesn't mean that we are closing the door to our number one target. So everything about the signing of Isak is still on the table. The only delay that I'm seeing now is kind of understandable because Newcastle on their end are in serious hunt for someone that would serve as a replacement for Isak. So I believe that any talk we'll be having between Liverpool and Newcastle to get Isak would only get serious once Newcastle gets a striker that could serve as a replacement for him. I'm just hoping it would happen as soon as possible so that we'll still be able to have Isak join us in this preseason tour and he would get to train with the squad before the season starts fully. So that is one area where this money could go into. Another one is the centre back. We've always known that we need a centre back in the squad. We understood that we don't have a lot of depth in the centre back list we have currently. If you think about it, the only trustworthy centre back at the moment, based on performance and also based on the fact that this person can play week in, week out without running into injury, that person is Virgil. Virgil is the only person there. Konate, we know about his injury concerns. I don't think we've played Konate 10 games in a row without risking injury. So he's one of those players that whenever he's on, he gives his best. We understand the quality he have, but we can't risk having him injured. Now, the other person we have as a third centre back is Joe Gomez, who his injury record is not even good at all. Sometimes I have to just pity him because it is not his fault that he gets injured this often. But just think about it. We're even in preseason and he already picked up an injury. That's why he had to fly back to Liverpool. So having just 3 centre backs in the squad means we have to go in serious hunts for a centre back. Mark Guehi is one of those people that his name is coming up, his name is popping up, and it's really not a surprise because he's what is waiting good. Having this money in the bag from the sale of Luis Diaz could go into getting more attacking option. I mean, it would not be enough, but it will still cover a lot of things there. Or it could go into getting a CB partnership. Now, it's actually crazy to think that we still need all this set of players, despite the fact that we've already spent so much in this window already. Well, this current departure of Luis Diaz also sounds as a reminder that a bunch of other players could still be leaving. I mean, it's not always the best experience when players that are good enough leave the club, but it happens, especially when you are making incoming. So there is need to balance the books. So at this very moment, with the departure of Luis Diaz, there are still questions to be asked about Darwin Núñez, who we know that he could be leaving. I mean, he's the one that have the next highest chance of leaving the squad. And we also talk about Elliot. Elliot is quite interested in Liverpool, but we understand why there needs to be a but in that particular statement. His age is there. The next World Cup is coming, and he have said that he's really interested in getting a call-up for that World Cup. I'm not so sure he's going to get that call-up if he sits on the bench for maybe 40 out of 55 games in a season. It will be very hard for him to get that call-up, and that is why he's really considering making a move to another decent Premier League club where he could start week in, week out. So that part of his predicament is something I understand, and whatever end up happening with him, whether he gets sold, whether he stays back, he will always have my support. And I believe a lot of Liverpool fans also think the same about his situation. Now, before we sign out, connect to the channel, like, subscribe, put the notification on. As we walk into a new season, we'll have so much to build in the footballing world, and I want all of you to be part of that journey.